Hi everybody, to prepare for the exam, we must revise. So, let's continue our revision series. We are revising the topics from Unit 2, Computational Thinking and Programming Part 1. In today's video, we are going to revise tuple. Alright then, without further delay, let's get started. Tuple is another data type similar to list because it provides a collection of mixed elements which are separated by comma. But in tuple, the elements are enclosed in a parenthesis. There is one more difference. List is mutable whereas tuple is immutable. You cannot change the content in place. Look at this statement. We are trying to change the individual element of the tuple, then you will get type error. Here is a tuple with some elements. You can reassign the same variable name with some other elements, but the memory address of this variable will be different. Here is how you can create tuple by assigning the elements in parenthesis or by using tuple constructor. This is an example of empty tuple, and single element tuple you will be creating by assigning the value followed by comma. Why this is so? If you will write like this, the Python will consider it as an integer, not as a tuple. So make a note of it. Are these brackets optional? Can I write like this? Yes, this is absolutely correct, but we will go ahead with these round brackets. And here is how you can assign many elements to the tuple. Look at this example. This is an example for nested tuple. One tuple inside another tuple. Here is the second way of creating tuple. You can create tuple from other sequence. Look at the example. We are creating tuple from string, and in this example we are creating tuple from a list. Let's move ahead. It is a collection of elements. How to access individual element with the help of index. This concept is just like string and list. If you want to access in the forward direction, index will start with 0. And for backward indexing, index will start with -1. Let's proceed and discuss the different operations we can perform on tuple. We can traverse tuple, join two different tuples into a single one, replicate. We can apply the slicing same as string and list. Even we can compare the elements of the tuple. We cannot perform other operations like add an element or delete an element from the tuple. Even we cannot edit or modify the tuple. But if you want to delete a complete tuple, you can do that. Here is how we can do the traversing. It is just like string and list. With the for loop, we can access the individual element of the tuple. Joining of tuple also works as string and list with the use of concatenation operator. Tuple 1 and tuple 2 is getting concatenated to tuple 3. Just like concatenation, replication operator also works same as list and string. Specify the number and that many times tuple will get repeated. We understood slicing 2 times already in case of string and in case of list. So hopefully you are clear with the concept of slicing. If not also, no problem. Practice some more examples. The more you practice, the more confident you will be. If you want to compare the elements of two tuples, this is how you will be doing with the use of is equals to operator. Element by element the comparison will be done. Individual element we cannot delete as tuple is immutable, but to delete a complete tuple we can use this del statement. This del statement also works on the list. Hope you remember it. We have to provide the tuple name after del. We have already discussed in case of list that del will delete the elements. Along with that, it will delete this object too. This is the unique concept of tuple, that is nothing but unpacking. But before that, what is packing? Packing means you are creating a tuple from different set of values. Look at this statement. This is nothing but packing. We are creating one tuple from different values. Then what is unpacking? It is just reverse of it. From tuple elements, we are creating individual values. Look at the syntax. We are writing the name of the tuple on the right hand side and the individual variables we will be writing on the left hand side. Please note down this. The number of variables on the left hand side should be equal to the number of elements of the tuple. Have a look at the example. This is the name of the tuple and here we are writing the different variables. There are 3 elements in the tuple, that's why there are 3 variables. Next we are just printing the value which will get stored on these variables. With unpacking we are separating out the tuple elements and storing them in different variables. Alright, it's time to move ahead and check out the tuple functions and methods. But why this is too less? You know that tuple is immutable. We cannot perform many operations on it. That's why we don't have methods and functions for that. If you talk about method, we have only index method and count method and others are functions. These methods are not going to change the tuple. That's why they exist. Here is the first function, len. We are already familiar. It will give the number of elements. These functions we have already discussed in case of list. Min function will return the minimum element, max will return the maximum element and sum will give the sum of the elements. With this method we are familiar. Index, it will give the index of the first match element. We need to find out 30 which is at the index 2. If it doesn't exist, we will get the value error. Here is the method count. These also we have discussed in case of string and list. It will count the number of occurrences of the element. 40 is present 3 times in this tuple. If the element doesn't exist, we will get 0. There is one more method named sort, but it will get applied on list. As list is mutable, it will change the original list, but that cannot get applied on the tuple. That's why we have sorted function associated with tuple. It will not change the original one, it will create a new tuple with the sorted elements. Even this works on the list. We have already discussed the difference between sort and sorted. First we need to provide tuple and then with this parameter we can sort them in the ascending or descending order. By default it will get sorted in the ascending order. If you will write reverse equals to true, then you will get the tuple in the descending order. This is the tuple function we have already discussed. It is used to create tuple from other sequence. This is how you can create empty tuple. Here we are creating tuple from string. In this example we are creating tuple from list and finally we are creating tuple from dictionary. In case of dictionary, only keys will be considered. Hope you have understood nested list. Then you will easily understand nested tuple. The concept is same. To access the elements of the nested tuple, we have to write multiple square brackets. It depends on the level of nesting. Suppose if I want to access action, what indices we will be writing? Let's find out. This is at the index 0. The whole tuple is at index 1. This is 2 and here is 3. Now let's write the index of the inner elements. Again it will start from 0 and this will be 1. Now let's suppose we want to access this element. So in the first bracket we will write the first level, that is nothing but 1. And in the next bracket we will write the second level of nesting. It is at index 0. So with this we will get action. To get horror we will be writing 1, 1. If you will write only one level of nesting, you will get a complete nested tuple. So that is how we access the nested tuple. Nesting can be done up to any level. With the hope that you could revise tuple completely, let's wind up today's video. In case of any doubt, drop them in the comments. And don't forget to like, share and subscribe. In the next video, we will discuss dictionary. Alright then, until next time, keep practicing, stay confident. I will see you in the next video.